Hey lovies, so if you guys are Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, this is going to be your reading to check in on kind of like your energy in April, like the energy you're currently in, what you're manifesting, and anything you can do to change the outcome if things aren't going the way you necessarily want them to. I have a few questions I'm just going to ask about your patterns of behavior in love. This is kind of a reading for people that are unsatisfied with their love life and are manifesting, like, I don't know, more singleness if that's not what they want, or kind of like relationships that are just like stagnant or there's a lot of fighting. So like if you are in like this perfect relationship that's really healthy and happy, this may not be your reading. This is more for people that are having some issues. So we're gonna see. I just really wanted to put the power back in the hands of you guys and just shed some light on some things that could be blocking you or something like that. So that's what we're gonna take a look at today. So if that sounds interesting to you, we're gonna dive right in. I'm gonna see what energy you are currently in, Gemini. What energy are my Geminis currently in? The Elephant. Okay, it's like a fire element animal. And what are you manifesting? I'm going to read from the book and see. I think elephants are like super powerful, especially in this deck. Let's see, what are my Geminis manifesting currently? Trust, number 31. I am safe, I am secure. In love, I trust. My faith endures. Okay. Just fix this. Okay, so let's take a look at the book for the Elephant and see what's going on. Excuse me, I have like I'm sick. Just bear with me if I'm coughing and stuff. Okay. Unstoppable, the Elephant. Unstoppable, auspicious, wise. The Elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the Elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles, so if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured the path will soon become clear. To add to the mystery, the Elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. Trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with the light of self-knowledge. When in balance, one-pointed focus, generous and loving. When out of balance, misunderstands fate. Now this is interesting because it says to bring into balance trust, and you got the trust card. So there could be some trust issues. Again, like I was saying, this could kind of play out. Oh, this candle went out. This could kind of play out in two different ways where, like, if you're in a relationship or, like, if you're single. So if you're single, this could be that you just don't understand why, you know, why am I having to go through this and be alone? Why can't I meet somebody? It's so easy for everybody else, kind of a thing. But like this was saying, like the book, sometimes there's obstacles, there's things happening that seem unfair, seem like almost counterproductive to what we want, but it's in order to build strength, it's in order to build wisdom. And also this could be speaking that if you have, if you are in a relationship, you could be having some trust issues with your partner or things like that. So we're going to dive in and see what the cards have to say. Sorry, and also if you see this on my shirt, it's just, this is my mom's old painting shirt, but it's just dried paint, won't come off, but it's the most comfortable shirt ever, so hope it's not too distracting for you guys. So we're going to see, what are Gemini's patterns of behavior in love? What is going on with Gemini? What are their patterns in love? Their patterns of behavior in love, Gemini. Okay. Exchanging gifts. We had higher power. in the back of the deck. And then we're going to get a tarot card as well. Let me just see where this... Ooh, I almost just fell off my chair. Just put it in the right spot. Okay. Sorry. I always forget to do that before I start. Geminis. What are your patterns of behavior in love? Excuse me. That's 2. I just need 1. What are Gemini's patterns of behavior and love? Thank you. Exchanging gifts and the Hierophant. Interesting. So with this, oh my god. With this, I'm kind of getting that with the exchanging gifts, that there might be a tendency to overextend yourself, whether in relationships or in love, or just in your life in general. Again, because a lot of these patterns that we have in love play out in other areas of our life. So again, if you're single and you're like, no, I'm not overextending myself in love because like I don't have anybody, this could be saying that maybe almost that you tend to like try to take the lead, because the elephant is like a very, like they say, auspicious, but it's powerful. You also had the bear on the bottom of the deck, which is making me think of like kind of like alpha, and like kind of like an alpha energy. This is Taurus energy with the Hierophant. That's like a bull. So it's just making me think that you could be someone that takes the lead, almost like you try to do too much for your partners. Not like too much, like I'm trying to say, oh, you do too much, but like, again, it's like, I am safe, I am secure, in love I trust. I feel as though maybe you don't think you're enough or something like that. Whether consciously or subconsciously, you have issues maybe with security and safety, and you feel as though, I don't know, like you have to give extra stuff in order to like receive love. This Hierophant, it's reminding me of like Maslow's pyramid kind of, and especially the center part is like sectioned off. So I feel as though there might be some, I don't really remember what it, I know it like starts with like your base needs, security, and then it probably goes up to like your emotional needs and things like that. So it's almost like you're jettison, is that how you say it? Jettisoning. I can't, it's a word I've read and never said out loud. But you're willing to jettison your emotional needs in order to almost have a sense of security and peace of mind or something like that, I'm getting. So there could be something like that where I would look into that Maslow's pyramid and maybe like the mid, because maybe that's like something you need to work on. I wonder if that's related to the chakras. I've never really like looked into it, but Maslow's pyramid just like popped in my head when I looked at this. I mean, I haven't even, the last time I learned about that was when I was in college, like psychology class or something, like 10-15 years ago. So I really sorry, don't remember, but that did just pop in my head, I'm sure, for a reason. So also there was something in here about misunderstanding fate and the Hierophant, and there's almost like this sense of thinking that you have to, because this Dancer here, like you have to act a certain way. It's almost like you're putting too much stock in faith and trust, where you feel like someone's watching you, like like God is watching you, spirit, and like if you don't perform in the way you're supposed to, like you're not going to get what you want, something like that. There's some authority that you're kind of like worried about judging you, and like you feel like you have to act accordingly. So what are some issues that need to be resolved for Gemini? Oh, breathe, the breathe card. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I don't feel good. Okay. What are some issues that need to be resolved for Gemini? The Page of Pentacles. Again, it's like a tendency to overgive. This Princess of Pentacles, it's, again, she's like holding out, and then with the gifts card, I really was getting like you're overextending yourself. You could be spending too much time worrying about, I already kind of said this, but like what Spirit is thinking about you, instead of just living your life. I'm getting it again. This came through in another reading, I don't remember which one, where it was like over meditating, which I don't even know if that's really something that's true, but it's being too wrapped up maybe in the mental body, or like trying to connect to Spirit, getting guidance too much. There's like a tendency, right, to like not trust. And I think there's a need here to kind of like let go, which again, it's like let go. Yeah, how do you let go? Like that's like the great mystery. But to let go, be willing to like let go and just live your life, be willing to make mistakes and realize that you don't have to be perfect. I think there's like a perfectionist kind of a vibe here, where you feel as though like, and it could almost become like a self-fulfilling prophecy, where if you do something that you deem wrong, you think Spirit's judging you, and in turn you judge yourself, and you almost like manifest like undesired results, if that makes sense, because you almost punish yourself. And then it's like, that's why you ever hear how like, or especially if you are resonating with this, you know, like, and you're like, you try to always be a good person. There could be almost like that, like a goody two shoes kind of a complex, not in a mean way, I'm not saying that, but like a goody two shoes complex, where you feel as though like you have to perform, you have to be perfect. And whenever something goes wrong, it's like the guilt you feel, it's like inviting the universe to punish you. That's what you're manifesting by feeling guilt. And you look around at people that do such worse things in your, opinion, and you're like, why don't they ever get a consequence? Because they don't feel guilty, and like you do. And it's, I don't want to say guilt is like a useless emotion, but yeah, because I'm seeing orange here. That's reminding me of like the sacral chakra. Yeah, that's kind of reminding me of that too. Like maybe the sacral chakra needs some work, but there's like some sort of guilt, I think, that is kind of gunking up the works for you. It's even, look, we have this fertility card, and that's making me think fertility. It's like the sacral chakra. That's where like, the womb, that's kind of, or even if you're a guy and you don't have a womb, but it's still that sacral chakra area. I'm really getting that. So there could be some work on that. And especially if this is making sense to you, where things are kind of like, you're almost manifesting consequences for things that aren't even that bad. It just realize that it could be self-inflicted, like subconsciously, where you feel like you deserve to be punished, and you're almost like punishing yourself, like indirectly, like not meaning to. So what does your heart need from you, Gemini? What does Gemini's heart need from them right now? No place like home. Okay, and we'll get one tarot. What does Gemini's heart need from them? Oh. And the King of Wands. All right, with the no place like home and the King of Wands, I feel as though, again, there's that kind of need for you to like cultivate, create some sort of sanctuary for yourself. I feel like the King of Wands always comes out. And maybe like the King of Wands energy is somebody that is like in control, that's like adventurous, not afraid to try new things. I feel like you could be almost like afraid, like every step you make, you're like worrying what's going to happen next, if that makes sense. Like you don't just, and the King of Wands, I think, can be spontaneous and impulsive, but like not all the time. Like it's like measured spontaneity, if that's even a thing, you know? It's like takes calculated risks, I would say, but is not afraid to try something. And oh, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I feel like you have a big fear of things not working out, and like you manifest these consequences for yourself. And I feel like a way to kind of like, what does your heart need from you? It needs you to understand that first of all, I think, because this is making me think of like spirit as this like watchful eye, and this no place like home. It's like a house that's like up in the clouds, and it's like up, you know what I'm saying? It's like up high. And I think it's like you need to realize that like spirit is not judging you like that. Like spirit knows that we're all going through our journeys and we're all going to make mistakes, and that's how we learn. There's no need to punish. They're not sitting up there judging you. They're sitting up there wanting to like envelop you. I just like felt to say that, like envelop you in like warmth and for you to feel good and secure. And I think what your heart needs from you is for you to have that sense of like trust and safety with spirit, where you know that you're free to kind of explore and like do whatever you want, and you don't have to worry that they're judging you, or that you have to be like this teacher's pet, almost like spirit's pet, in order to like manifest the things that you want and deserve love. It's you just deserve things because you're you. You know, you don't have to do anything to deserve it. It's like I feel like there's a sense of you feeling like you have to check all these boxes before you're ready to manifest love, or to manifest like peace in your relationship, whatever it is. And again, this could be like how I was saying, spirit is watching over you. This could be the way you feel about your partner, that they're always like, maybe they're a critical partner and you feel like you could never do anything right or something like that. And if that's the case, you know, I would recommend, I mean, at least first getting right with yourself and realizing that even if somebody else is judging you, that's kind of like their problem. Like you still have to do, especially if you're trying and you know you have good intentions, like that's not on you. If they don't like what you're doing, then maybe you're just not compatible, you know, and then that's something maybe you need to discuss with them if they're being very critical of you. So the next question is, how can you give to your heart more? We have round and round. And the Six of Wands. Okay. So with this round and round, how can you give to your heart more? I feel as though there's like a sense of freedom here. And like this is like kind of the opposite energy. It's like a shell. It's like someone all curled up on themselves. So how can you give your heart more? I think like to just, I'm getting a sense of radical self-acceptance. Just like a blanket statement you can make to yourself of like, you know what, like I'm doing my best. I'm gonna fuck up sometimes, but like I think you need to like kind of tune into your heart and realize that it is like a beautiful thing. Like you have good intentions, like you are a good person, and like even if you have hurt people and you've made mistakes, like the guilt doesn't need to be, I feel like you do go around and around in your mind thinking about the past and things that you have done. And it's I think if you can like kind of break that cycle and just cultivate like that, like I was saying, that blanket statement of self-acceptance, that radical self-acceptance, like you will like, I feel like your self-esteem will really rise up, and that will help you to just kind of like be good with yourself, you know, like without needing to jump through hoops, without needing to perform, feeling like you need to perform and act. Like you don't need to act anyway. You just need to be who you are and accept that, you know, everyone is unique. Everyone has their own challenges. Everyone makes their own mistakes. There's things that like you wouldn't do that other people would. Like, again, if you have like a critical partner and they're like, oh, like, why would you do that? It's like, you know, maybe they wouldn't do what you did, but maybe there's things that they do, like be critical, that you would never do, you know? And it's just, sometimes people are just different, and recognizing like the differences that we have to other people, and that we're just ourselves based on our upbringing, based on the things we've seen, the things we've experienced, like that have shaped us, is kind of like a good way to like cultivate like that sense of peace for ourselves, so we don't just sit and compare ourselves to other people and then feel bad about our like the things that we're doing, or the things that we're feeling, or the way, you know, the way we live our lives and the decisions we make. Like that's just kind of like a product, you know, it's like nature and nurture. It's like the things we've experienced, or genetics, like the things we've learned in our family when we were growing up as a kid, like in our other relationships. So there's like a sense, there's a need to kind of, I think, like stop over analyzing every little thing that you've done, and just be open to like living and freeing your mind from like these like never ending thoughts. Again, like it's like it was right in that first card, it said to bring into balance trust, like to learn to trust yourself. I think that's something you need to learn, to trust yourself and realize that you just have to start living. I'm getting a sense of just starting to live your life, and that's how you align with things. Sorry, I wasn't like asking a question, but I just saw orphaned. How can you vibrate and align with love? Gemini. Yang energy. This is very similar to the King of Wands. And that was like where I was getting that message of like, you just have to start living. There's a very like, almost like a masculine energy is needed here with the King of Wands and the Yang card coming out. And we have new life on the bottom. And new life, and then we have the number 1 Yang. It's like almost like you need to have like a metaphorical like rebirth, where you're just like, I'm sorry, a metaphorical rebirth, where it's almost like you're taking like the power back into your hands. I feel like you're giving too much power away to spirit, to a current partner, to maybe like parents. I saw the orphan card, so maybe there's like judgmental parents or something like that. But you feel like you're being watched and judged, and it's like there's only one judge, and that's spirit, and it's like spirit is in you. So it's like that's how you communicate. It's like get in touch with your higher self. But yeah, like get into that masculine energy where you're the boss of your own life. Like you are the decision maker. Like you are the action taker, and you will, if there's consequences, you will suffer, you know, not suffer, but you will take responsibility and accept those consequences. But you don't need to you don't need to inflict more on yourself by like your emotions and the things you're thinking. There's a lot of orange in this spread. I really would look into like sacral chakra balancing. I really feel like guilt could be a thing. You feel guilty probably for things that most people wouldn't even think twice about. And that goes to show what it's, again, with this elephant, I'm getting like an old soul, like a wise soul, someone who has like probably been through many lifetimes. And that's probably why, like, I was watching a reading that was saying that it was like something just like this, where it was consciousness evolution journey, and she was saying, you may wonder why, like what I was kind of just saying before, how like other people don't have consequences for the things that like you do have consequences for, but it's like you're like this older soul, and it's just like you wouldn't hold a 5-year-old to the same standard as like a 30-year-old, because a 5-year-old doesn't know any better. Even like a teenager, they haven't had the life experience yet, but it's like your soul has. So that could be a thing too, where it's like you need to recognize that you're an old soul. Maybe you have tried to do things that other people were doing and that didn't really feel right to you. Like one example I'm thinking of is gossiping. And maybe you know, like, oh, it's not right to do this and talk bad about other people, but you just kind of like end up engaging with people, but just to like kind of fit in, but then you feel bad later, or someone calls you out and you're like, oh my God, everyone else was gossiping, why did I get called out? And it's maybe because you feel in your conscience that you shouldn't be doing. So maybe actually do take a look at the things, and if something doesn't feel right to you, then don't do it anymore, you know? Like, that's it. Just you make a decision like, okay, like there's a reason that this feels wrong to me, And maybe that's the feeling is trying to tell me, like, and then you can sleep better at night and just feel better about yourself. So how can you vibrate and align with love? Like, take the power back in your hands and start doing things that feel good to you on like a conscious, like with your conscious, things that sit well with your soul, your conscience, whatever you want to call it. How can you vibrate and align with love? The Star. And the Star is a very healing, hopeful kind of an energy. It's Aquarius energy. Excuse me. And even I'm kind of getting like starseed vibes, like, again, this old soul, like you could be, that could resonate or it might not. Also, like, that could be why you feel like you're held to a higher standard, because like if you come from one of these other civilizations, star systems, that kind of like it holds people, you know, you're in that kind of has the vibration of like unconditional love, and then you come here to like Earth, and even this no place like home, that's kind of giving me starseed vibes too. But it's like you come here on Earth and it's just, there's all this like chaos and lower vibrational energies that you have to deal with and try to fit in with. And it's tough to have a sense of identity when you're dealing with things like that. So that could resonate, but I don't know. How can you grow? No, like, how can you allow more love into your life, I meant to say. How can Geminis allow more love into their life? New life, number 39. Again, there's like that whole rebirth energy. I just want to see where like the cards are. Hold on. Okay. There's that whole energy of like rebirth, allowing yourself to kind of maybe do like a, you know, like a spiritual bath, something symbolic, like some sort of ceremonial, like symbolic thing where you kind of rechristen yourself, like, okay, like from now on, I'm going to start doing things in a different way, like where you kind of like shed the past, somehow shed the skin, maybe energy cleansings, spiritual bath, spiritual shower, put some Reiki music on. Reiki Rachel, my fave, my girl, I love her. She has like amazing Reiki sessions, cord cutting things. Like, there's so many things you could do to kind of cut cords with that judgmental voice in your head. Because I feel like it is you almost, and it's like there's probably like a need for both, a need to not be so hard on yourself, but to also kind of take a look at the choices that you are making and if they're really sitting well with your soul and your conscious and the things that like you know are right or wrong. So again, but there's no guilt needed, just a little tweaking. I always like to say that, like, no guilt or shame needed, just tweak the things that need tweaking and go from there, you know? It's like you live and learn. That's how you learn. Like when you have these like feelings of guilt and shame for your behavior, it's like alerting you to the fact that, you know, maybe that behavior needs to change, but there's no guilt or shame needed. That's where I think you kind of get stuck and messed up here, because it's like you castigate yourself for, like, if I just said that right, I don't know, but it's like you flog yourself, like you punish yourself, and I feel like then you start kind of manifesting punishments and like kind of bad luck maybe and things like that. So just kind of give yourself, like I said, a blanket forgiveness. There's something about a blanket, a sense of security, like a security blanket, I don't know, just a little safe space, a little trust that, you know, you are a good person. I think you need to trust the fact that you are a good person and stop beating yourself up. So how can you allow more love into your life? The 8 of Cups. Again, like, walk away from those old personas and anything that's not bringing you emotional fulfillment. Like, decide to like turn over a new leaf, and leave behind any people or any behaviors or anything that just doesn't sit well with you. You know, you don't have to do anything except what feels right to you. You can change at any point. You can recreate yourself at any time, at any place. And you don't need anyone's permission to do so. So, Let's see if Gemini takes this advice and starts kind of being more comfortable with who they are, taking an honest look at their behavior, tweaking anything that needs tweaking, learning to trust themselves, trust spirit, to understand just like what a beautiful heart and soul they do have. How can things shift for them? What energy could they be shifting into in April? What energy? Oh, we have the Crow. Interesting. Haven't gotten that one before, so let's take a look. Oh, I gotta see what he would be manifesting to. What could Geminis be manifesting? Divine guidance. Look at this. Whispers from the beings who shine, let their message be clear and kind. So I think that's good. I think you could be manifesting more accurate communication with either your guides, yourself. Like you could just learn how to be kinder to yourself. But let's see what the Crow has to say. I'm curious about that. It's obviously an air spirit animal here. What is it, a crow? I think it's more towards the back, but I could be wrong. Owl. Crow. Spiritually strong, creative, watchful. The crow has long been a symbol of magic. A crow personality is drawn to the supernatural and has a gift for seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown. It is said that the crow holds within its mind's eye the three realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should only be tapped into when the mind is clear. Those with crow tendencies must balance their lives with a healthy diet, joyful friends, and regular self-study. For sure. When in balance, psychic, strong, clear. When out of balance, ungrounded, hypersensitive. To bring into balance, daily meditation practice. I feel like this is saying that almost like you have like some spiritual and psychic abilities that are being hindered by all this like blocked off emotion or guilt or whatever is going on, because this is reminding me of like a ball of like energy that needs to be released or something. And I feel like when you do start working on this, your psychic abilities will grow, like some sort of ability. Divine guidance and the crow together is really making me think that maybe your third eye is blocked off or something like that, but it's like maybe even you get messages, like kind messages now, but you just dismiss them. And so it's like you're not really even open to the messages, the actual messages that are coming through, because like you have such negative self-talk that it almost just like blocks it off, like, oh no, that can't be right, because like why would I deserve anything good in my life? Does that make sense? So that's really cool. I feel like you could like develop some psychic abilities and things like that. So let's see what advice we have from this Rebel deck. This is the tough love deck that could be a little brutal sometimes or funny depending on how you look at it. But what advice for my Geminis? Some good shit is about to happen. Don't let your issues fuck it up. Okay. I feel like these are self-explanatory. What other advice for my Geminis? But yeah, it's like even when good things happen, it's like almost like you subconsciously block them. What other advice for my Geminis? Get over yourself, pull your shit together, help people, give back, do good shit for humanity. Okay. And one more. Oh. Fucking apologize. Seriously, just do it. Yeah, make right whatever you have to make right. Apologize to yourself, apologize to whoever. Then on the back we have, you need some fucking yoga in your life. Ancient shit is cool. Ancient shit. I was really getting like starseed vibes. So like spiritual. I feel like you are gifted in some way. And you need to recognize that. All right, I'm just going to go like that. And get some more advice for you guys. And then we will close out the reading. Geminis. What advice do you need? Feelings are so important. Make feeling good your number one priority and watch your life change. Yes. The key to the law of attraction is heart energy. Heal, unblock, and connect with your heart. Love is the highest frequency you can emit. Gratitude shouldn't be a reaction. It should be your vibe. Okay. Power is always in flux. The wheel is always turning. If you envy someone, it's because they're reflecting everything you could be if you just believe in yourself. We'll get one more. Start and end the day with positive thoughts about yourself, even if you're mean in between. And then we have meditation prompt. Who am I? Who have I always been? Look to your childhood. So that's something you can sit with, like a question you could sit with, but I feel like we're going to leave it there, Gemini. I hope that advice helped. I hope this reading helped shed some light on some things and resonated. And if it did, please leave me some love. It helps my channel grow, makes me like really happy. So I hope you guys have a good day or night wherever you are. And thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye.